Did CIG lie on their roadmap? If you will all join me as we go back to, I think December. No, it might have been November, actually. There we go, December 18th. Cool. This is how I do half my research for Star Citizen stuff. I just search, follow links until I can find the stuff I'm looking for. Now, back in December, we got a roadmap roundup, and the progress tracker got an update, separate from the roadmap. We're going to talk about the difference between those in a second, but the progress tracker got an update saying that crafting had its progress moved to the end of March, inventory end of January, and engineering end of March. Now, obviously, there were plenty of caveats with this. They said all this stuff about the progress tracker. It doesn't necessarily mean it's ready for release. It may still require downstream support, transition to another team for further work, or further steps before completion. At the same time, obviously, everyone in the community was going back and forth, patting each other on the back and saying, you know, our tidings, our greetings, peace be with you, may the Lord bless you, don't trust the progress tracker. You know, the things that you say when you're getting ready to sign off for the night. But a lot of folks are rather new to Star Citizen and don't know that the progress tracker speaks lies. Not lies per se, just a little misleading. So that brings us to this post. Somebody was asking about the inventory. And let me tell you, Grandma's sweet is in chat. I'm gonna censor that, I'm sorry, because I can't say that on the stream. Let me tell you, chat, we knew this was gonna happen. I think most people in like the forums were saying to each other, this is gonna be a problem at some point. So here we are. January is at an end. Inventory, obviously, as the progress tracker is saying, has also come to an end. So somebody's asking, can someone shed some light on why there was no further information on the inventory system? For starters, there was. Okay, this is the inventory system that they're talking about. By the way, this is the one from back in what is this, September? I think this is the first time we actually knew they were working on it. Was July. Now, we all know Star Citizen's timeline, how they work. A lot of times you see some concept art and it's like, okay, that's going to be good in 4 or 5 years. Looking forward to that. And here was our look at the concept art. This is what is on its way to the game. It has things like filtering. It has auto stacking. You can see it has all of the categories up top. There's a search function, but it also has things that are crucial to stuff like crafting. You can see quality levels. You can see tiers of items. There are weapon stats over here. There's a registration indication in item integrity. All this has to do with crafting and the stuff that's kind of right around the corner for us. So you can tell it's kind of necessary. He's also mentioning here just that, like, if there's a dead body or a box nearby, you could do proximity looting, which is gonna be great. But anyways, this got people really excited. Like, really excited, myself included. This is one of the best things I think they could add to the game. And surprisingly, it was only about 3 months later during CitizenCon that we actually got to see that they had moved on from concept and gotten it into somewhat of a workable phase for the devs, obviously, not for us, but they're using it internally, and it's not necessarily everything we just saw from the concept art, but you can see they're headed in that direction, similarities wise. You got the loadouts down here, you got a better, easier display of what's equipped and what's not equipped, your categories, your search bars, your different menus, all that kind of stuff. So they're getting there, right? And then in December, we did get the roadmap roundup that you guys saw that mentioned that the inventory has work that's going until the end of January. But like I said on the roadmap roundup and the progress tracker all the time, if you click into the caveats, the progress tracker shows you what each team is working on in the near future and their priorities after completing the immediate deliverables at hand. Keep in mind, this isn't necessarily when these items will be completed, simply when the work on them is scheduled to finish out by that team specifically. So, while it is good to see that we've got work going until the end of January in the inventory, it doesn't mean it's done by that point. And while we can see that they're making progress on it, I mean, clearly not enough for it to be in the live game. Now, I thought it was going to be in the crafting preview. It wasn't. I still think it's going to be in like the next one. And this isn't going from the progress tracker. I don't think the progress tracker is good at telling this kind of stuff. If you look at it, you would be all over the place, right? Because as you scroll down, check this out. Look. What is this? What's all down here? Transport refactor. Finished in October. I wish. There's all kinds of stuff in here you can find that's like you would think means it's done. Base building finished in October. Okay, sure. It's not always completely accurate. FPS radar and scanning finished in December. We didn't actually get these things. So it's good to keep in mind, like, progress tracker is good for understanding what's being worked on, but not what's actually going to be done. That's why we stick to the release view for that. And even then, if something says tentative, don't trust it. You know, you got to wait for it to show up as actually committed. All that being said, you could be like, well, but Tomato, he didn't say that he needed it released. He just said he wanted someone to shed some light on it. What's going on? We haven't had any information. And after the first ISC of the year, it has bugged him more about the silence on the inventory system, which I would agree, except we did get information in the monthly report. They mentioned that throughout the months of November and December, work continued on the inventory with the internal reviews and bug hunting sessions, which to me means they've gotten most of the work done on it, whoever is working on it right now, and they're just doing some polishing, bug hunting, and getting it ready for further testing. Obviously, that's not like a big shout from the rooftop, or an ISC episode saying that it's almost here. But it is an update, and this is the most recent information we've had on it. I think we'll probably see something else in the January monthly report, and that will likely give us a good idea of actually how close it is. Well, maybe not a good idea, possibly a better idea. These little bits of info will slip out every once in a while, and I think this is just in agreement with what we've been seeing elsewhere, and that is that the inventory system is actually moving through progress faster than their systems usually do, because it needs to be here likely for crafting, which is in testing and it's going to be here soon. So while we're not getting beat over the head with inventory information, and the progress tracker was a little bit confusing as to when it might get here, I think it's still coming pretty soon. So keep an eye out.